Welcome to Food News and Chews. And Jeremy, what are we doing here today?
We've got our usual stick on what's happening with food in the world today. We'll be talking that with our food news. Then we're going to talk to 6th-generation cattle farmer Trent Loos. He's going to give us his views on
Wyatt Earp.
He does look like Wyatt Earp too. You got to check him out. He tells us what he should be eating from a farmer's perspective. Also, we've got my recipe for New York strips, stuffed with pimento cheese and country ham.
Real meaty thing, huh? Yeah, he loves meat.
You'll find out all about it. Food News and Chews.
We'll be right back with Trent Loos.
Why do chefs choose Lyon's farm beef?
When I get things in the kitchen, I can tell like right off the bat. After I get done searing it or put it on the grill or roasting it or baking it or frying it or whatever I'm going to do, the second I cut into that thing, whether it's the resistance on the fork or just the way it kind of slides across the knife, it's got to be right on from the get-go. And it seems like this beef does that every single time.
Lyon's Farm Beef, available at Critchfield Meats and lyonsfarm.com.
Welcome to Kentucky's largest commercial restaurant equipment and supply store. Seaworth Superstore is a 15,000 square foot chef's treasure chest.
Seaworth Superstore is the store for those in the restaurant industry, churches, and catering. Find chefware, large equipment, refrigeration unit, about anything needed for a volume event. Seaworth Superstore, in business since 1954, offering free local delivery, so come on in and get hooked immediately.
And a complete line of chef apparel. Seaworth Superstore, located at 1403 Versailles Road and seaworthsuperstore.com.
Here's a way to give 2 holiday gifts for the price of 1. Serve food that's prepared with ingredients made or grown in Kentucky. We call it Kentucky Proud, and that's your assurance of quality. When you buy Kentucky Proud, you also brighten the holidays for a Kentucky farm family. Find gift and recipe ideas at KentuckyProud.com. Kentucky Proud is funded in part by the Kentucky Agricultural Development Fund and is a program of the Kentucky Department of Agriculture. James R. Comer, Commissioner.
Advertise your product or service on shows like this one. Contact Media 7 Broadcasting today. Call 859-317-4565 or email sales@m7bg.com. Reach potential new customers in the Louisville, Lexington, and other central Kentucky areas. Get your new ad produced for free by Media 7's audio and video professionals. Call 859-317-4565 today and let Media 7 create a marketing plan for you.
Today's shoppers are informed. When shopping for the family meal, today's shopper chooses Critchfield Meats for fresh, all-natural quality meats, guaranteed. Make the right choice and visit our family before you feed yours. Critchfield Meats, the meat specialist, family owned and operated since 1969. That's a grade A choice, folks.
A European experience without leaving Lexington at Azure Restaurant and Patio. For lunch or dinner, enjoy excellent service and truly unique cuisine that will delight your senses. Unwind with award-winning cocktails or conduct business over a memorable meal. Every occasion is special at Azure Restaurant and Patio, located off Harrisburg Road in the Beaumont Center.
Oh, Jeremy, you ought to read. Oh, hi, we're back on the air. You know me. I have my news. Hey,
yes.
Some food news. Let's get into some McNews nuggets.
What do you have for me this week, Sylvia?
Well, Lonely Planet just named Louisville, big sister to whatever it is, the West, #1 tourist attraction in the country, destination.
I saw it. Was it GQ that named them the manliest city also?
Yeah. Let's see. What? Why?
I think it was like Muhammad Ali. So you have boxing, you've got bourbon, you've got baseball, the Louisville Slugger,
horses, and
women, good-looking women, right? Southern women.
Yeah. So anyway, and bourbon was named in the tourist destination gig that they just got. So that's cool.
Some props off to Louisville for being #1 destination city in 2013. Great part of Kentucky.
Yeah. And we've launched a TV show, but we have just been run into the ditch.
What is that?
Well, the United States of Bacon is making its debut on December 30th.
So there's really a show about that?
You're not kidding. Try peanut butter bacon cheeseburger. This fellow's going to travel the country, and he's going to taste all the tasty bacon dishes. Bacon happy hour, bacon cheddar apple pie.
He stole our job.
I know. I'm robbing me of my will to live.
But wasn't there like a bacon shortage this year? Something among, commodities like that?
Everybody's eating it and wearing
Maybe a show's going to be on the History Channel.
Hey, here's some sitcom soap opera ideas as bacon becomes. We could get into a cottage industry here.
What's that?
I know we're making millions off this television
Oh, yeah.
show, but we could add on to our little thing here, and we could have As the Bacon Turns. How about
That's
All
good.
Our Bacon?
Yes.
Sons of Bacon.
Yeah.
What
Maybe
else?
Modern Bacon or
Modern Bacon.
Bacon and Butthead or Bacon Dynasty.
Okay. Hey, I'm real concerned about Bill and Lou, the two oxen in Vermont.
Oh, no.
Lou went down. Bill is left alive. And, if we are really good reporters, when an American gets kidnapped in a foreign country, they go visit that American, make sure they're healthy and
Sure.
everything,
Yeah.
So we should go visit Bill. So let's start a petition. Let's visitLl and make sure he stays
And you're
alive.
speaking
'Cause
of
they
the
were
two cattle
the
that-
two
yeah.
oxen
That
spent
was
their
for them,
lives
yeah.
plowing for these people, and then they were going to off them and put them on the dinner table. And it's an outcry in
Right.
Facebook and everywhere.
Save Bill or save Lou.
So, yeah, really. Anyway, so here's another one. Martha Stewart was sickened by salmonella because she handled too many turkeys over Thanksgiving.
That's good.
She was on the Today Show. I guess I shouldn't laugh. She was she was bedridden for several days.
Right.
You would think it'd only take one bad turkey to
Right,
give you
it's just kind of a
salmonella.
bad
It's
turkey
kind of
there.
weird, or
That's-
could ask
We
who's
better
the
move
turkey
on with that
here.
one for Martha chimes in.
Martha. Anyway, here's some more serious news, though. Foodington Toast.
Sure.
That's our more serious reporters that were trained in the finest of journalism schools,
Sure, yes, that's right.
And what do they do when they're
What's your name?
Yeah, we're good. Our guest this week is Trent Loos, and we want to make sure that Trent gets a proper introduction because he is a very fascinating individual. And he's controversial.
Right.
Jeremy, we interviewed him. Tell us a little bit about what we're going to hear from him.
Well, Trent's going to kind of give us his views on what we should be eating as Americans. We talk about a lot of things on this show that,
Local and stuff.
local, but
and we
he's-
stood up to him.
Yeah, and he's not exactly a big agriculture guy, and he's not against local, but he's more on the side that agriculture and technology seems to be the way to go. Also, he's got some opinions on what we should be doing with our school lunch program.
Yeah, that's right. He soundly trounced us with his golden tongue,
Yes, he
didn't he?
did.
But then he
Trent
is
knows his stuff.
150 years old. If he's really Wyatt Earp,
That's
and I
right.
really wonder if he is. He's a sixth-generation cattle farmer. But just to give some news items, the Farm Bill may move after all. In the Farm Bill, two big things to remember. One, they got cut subsidies, but they're going to replace that with crop insurance for big farms. It sounds like to me. But the real controversy is cutting food stamps.
Right, it's kind of
Huge
like
issue.
one of those kind of cuts that you don't hear about, especially in a farm bill.
And the
right?
reason it may pass is it can contribute to deficit reduction. Food stamps, during the middle of a recession. And then a series, The Vanishing Prairie, appeared in the Minneapolis Star-Tribune.
Yeah.
Those bugs are going to outsmart us, and that's the whole GMO controversy.
Well, that's where they're saying that the Roundup spray isn't working on a lot of crops now. So it's kind of, life finds a
Bugs are
way. So, plants have evolved and they're not, and bugs are smart too.
Yeah.
And they've evolved to where they're not, being killed by
and
Roundup. So
biodiversity is a big issue, too.
Monsanto is going to reformulate, right?
Yeah,
So what do
they're
we do?
gonna
Keep going down the rabbit hole and keep, making new chemicals or putting new chemicals on our food? We'll see about that.
Yeah, and bees and butterflies are going away. That is a serious issue.
serious
It's
issue.
kind of one of the foundations.
No bees, no butterflies, no food,
no
no pollination.
food, no, and
Serious issue.
yeah, it really is serious. So Mama Nature always wins, right?
That's right.
Yeah, Mom always wins. All right, well, we're going to be back with Trent Loos right after break with co-host Chef Jeremy Ashby and Sylvia Lovely, and we'll see you in just a few.
Stay tuned.
Why do chefs choose Lyon's Farm beef?
When I get things in the kitchen, I can tell right off the bat. After I get done searing it or put it on the grill or roasting it or baking it or frying it or whatever I'm going to do, the second I cut into that thing, whether it's the resistance on the fork or just the way it kind of slides across the knife, it's got to be right on from the get-go. And it seems like this beef does that every single time.
Lyon's Farm beef, available at Critchfield Meats and LyonsFarm.com.
Jeremy, the restaurant startup business is challenging. We should know.
That's right. In business since 1954, Seaworth Superstore is the place to begin. Reconditioned equipment and the lease to purchase program can get you in and going in no time.
Seaworth, with its dedicated staff, can help you plan with CAD services that provide a successful layout.
Dan and his team will help you fill in the blanks with everything from soft drink machines to exhaust hoods. Come to Seaworth Superstore and make your dreams come true.
Located at 1403 Versailles Road and SeaworthSuperstore.com.
Here's a way to give 2 holiday gifts for the price of 1. Serve food that's prepared with ingredients made or grown in Kentucky. We call it Kentucky Proud, and that's your assurance of quality. When you buy Kentucky Proud, you also brighten the holidays for a Kentucky farm family. Find gift and recipe ideas at KentuckyProud.com. Kentucky Proud is funded in part by the Kentucky Agricultural Development Fund and is a program of the Kentucky Department of Agriculture. James R. Comer, Commissioner.
Advertise your product or service on shows like this one. Contact Media 7 Broadcasting today. Call 859-317-4565 or email sales@m7bg.com. Reach potential new customers in the Louisville, Lexington, and other central Kentucky areas. Get your new ad produced for free by Media 7's audio and video professionals. Call 859-317-4565 today and let Media 7 create a marketing plan for you.
Today's shoppers are informed. When shopping for the family meal, today's shopper chooses Critchfield Meats for fresh, all-natural quality meats guaranteed. Make the right choice and visit our family before you feed yours. Critchfield Meats, the meat specialist, family owned and operated since 1969. That's a great A choice, folks.
A European experience without leaving Lexington at Azure Restaurant and Patio. For lunch or dinner, enjoy excellent service and truly unique cuisine that will delight your senses. Unwind with award-winning cocktails or conduct business over a memorable meal. Every occasion is special at Azure Restaurant and Patio, located off Harrisburg Road in the Beaumont Center.
Well, welcome back, viewers, to Food, News, and Chews. And Jeremy, we've got a really special guest here today.
Yes, that's right.
It is actually Wyatt Earp.
Well,
100 years later, you look remarkable.
well, thank you. And there's not been any gunfights on the street since I got here. I'll
Clean
point
it
out.
up. You clean it up.
Absolutely.
I'm glad you stayed safe until you got here with us. Then you can go out and have a gunfight after this. But anyway, you were here.
I thought you were going to be a danger to me there for a minute. I didn't know where you were going.
Hey, we're at a great setting. We're at we're in the Alltech, which is an awesome company, Global Dairy and Beef. I have the dairy. I'm in the dairy
Global
track.
500 Dairy and Beef Summit.
Yes.
74 countries represented at this meeting.
Amazing. I mean, it's just teeming with people all over. And, of course, they're the great innovators with animal nutrition and all of that. So they're going to teach people how to eat beef and raise beef and drink beef.
Raise beef in an all-natural way. It seems like that seems to be the new focus of Alltech, is going towards the more all-natural feeds, which is very interesting. The gene chip technology seems very...
And Lyons Farm as well.
Lyons Farm, and I can attest to its great quality too.
Critchfield Meats, all of them are great sponsors with us also.
If they were a great sponsor, there would be a ribeye in front of me as we were doing this. So they're just good sponsors.
Oh, darn. But here we're here, and we want to talk to you now in a news segment that we do at the beginning of the show. Okay. We talked a little bit about some issues that I know you have a great interest in, because I've been on your show.
I'm not an issues guy.
You're not controversial at all.
No, I'm a problem solver.
All right. Well, we want to talk to you because we talked a bit about the drought. I know that you're a sixth-generation Nebraska cattle farmer and have a pig or two around, don't you?
We do. We have 150 beef cows. We've got 40 sows, 40 horses, and 20 meat goats.
Wow.
So we're directly being affected by the drought.
Yeah. You're also a radio personality, 100 stations or something like that, books, loose tales, and all kinds of interesting things. Wyatt?
I'm trying to find something I can do.
Well, a lot of things we do, we try to demystify for our average listener. The terms like local and all natural and organic, and it's bewildering out there.
Oh, it is.
In terms of what you hear versus big ag versus small ag and local, and how to produce food. But what are your views on things like GMOs, or I know that you support big agriculture, and I think that we also want to support too. But I think everything's going towards an all natural way. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't think it's fair to say I support big agriculture. I support agriculture of a diverse package in all types and sizes. I'm very much in support of the people that take care of the land, that take care of the animals, that in turn take those God-given natural resources and generate a supply of food, fiber, pharmaceuticals, and fuel, the essentials of life, to mankind. Now, there's not one recipe to get that done. There are people that are willing to pay more for food products that are produced organically or natural, and I say more power to them. But all statistics indicate that that's about 3% of the United States population. So what it means is 97% of the people care about what does it cost, how safely can I feed my family. And so what I support is the technologies that allow us to continue to be very good stewards of the land and yet produce the essentials of life that are needed. You mentioned the drought earlier.
Yes.
That is probably the best case in point, is because we now have had drier years in the Great Plains of America since 2000 than we did during the dirty 30s.
Global warming?
Well, it's cycle change.
Did I say warming?
I don't think that. Is this an hour-and-a-half long show? We could discuss
We could go
that.
there, right?
But what I really want to talk about is that in the dirty 30s, it was complete devastation, and people died. We've had nobody die as a result of this drought that's now been going on for 7+ years, the worst drought that anybody alive has ever seen in the state of Nebraska. And even though we had a terrible crop, we still produce the 4th largest corn crop in the history of this country, thanks to the technology that's been allowed to be implemented into producing more food with fewer resources.
But it's starting, they say it's going to continue on. So what do we do about that? And, you know, some of the hurricane issues and stuff like that were caused by drought.
Even more importantly, you know, producing
Global warming.
food for the masses is very important. We have to, you know, feed this population that's growing and growing and growing. I guess my question is what are your thoughts on, you know, we say food technologies, but I'm always confused on what that means in stewards of the land versus maybe hormones or antibiotics and things like that, which for, you know, from my standpoint, I get scared of just because I see some of the health of the nation. I don't know whether it's sedentary lifestyle or, you know, our kids are getting too much estrogen. Maybe that comes from your food, the whole thoughts that maybe you are what you eats. Can you help us?
Hormones and food have nothing to do with affecting our lifestyles. Zero. The highest level of estrogen in any food is a legume, a soy product, and in no way, shape, or form do those products affect. The one thing that I hear the most often, Jeremy, in airports, so I'll get ladies that'll come up to me, they'll have teenage daughters like I do, a 14-year-old, and they'll say, I hear these girls are reaching puberty at earlier ages. What are you putting in the food?
Right.
I mean, that just happens out of the blue. Well, in that serving of beef right there behind you, naturally produced, as you indicated earlier, that means there's been no additional hormone added to the animal during the growing phase. That serving of beef will have 1.39 nanograms of estrogen. A tablespoon of soybean oil has 28,000 nanograms of estrogen. A birth control pill has 34,000 nanograms of estrogen. Estrogen is not a bad thing, nor does it affect our body. What affects our body is that the hormone receptors in the body, male or female, reside within fat cells. And you said it first. Sedentary lifestyle leads to a greater deposit of fat. Fat is where your hormone receptors reside. So consequently, you have a greater reaction to what? Television? 2.5 Men? Have you ever seen a time when we've had more sexual connotations in primetime television shows than we do today? And when you have a nation of young people that
it's
are already...
It's not about eating too much meat?
No, not at all.
What do you
Well,
think?
it's not even also to say the very young too. We talk a lot of the children. You say the teenagers are going into puberty earlier. Yeah, that's what some people are saying.
They are.
And
18 months actually.
Right.
18 months quicker
Earlier.
than their mothers.
Right. So even like the school-age children, I think there was some topics on school lunches, right?
I know you have an opinion about that. It's
the
controversial.
school lunch program is
Yeah.
a pathway to starvation for our nation's kids. It's documented that protein and fat in our nation's in our diet develops our brain, and we are restricting fat and protein. We've got our kids now. A senior in high school is restricted to 750 calories in one meal during the lunch, and 11 ounces of protein of any type in a 5-day week period. That is not healthy, and we got to get back to understanding it is exercise more than you eat, and eat a balanced amount of all food groups.
Yeah, what should we be eating, real quickly?
As I just said, every food group and exercise more than you eat. It's that simple.
Bacon and eggs and...
Bacon and eggs for breakfast.
Whole milk.
Every morning, whole milk.
I've heard you say this.
These are the things that I do and my family does, and I suggest everybody do.
And you look pretty healthy, Wyatt, for 150 years old.
Yeah. I do want to say one more hormone thing.
Yeah, please.
The European Union does not allow hormones to be used in their cattle or in their milk supplies. And girls in the European Union are also 18 months quicker to puberty than their mothers. It's a result of our body fat and our lifestyle, not what we eat.
We'll be back after break with Food News and Chews.
Why do chefs choose Lyon's Farm beef?
It's consistent, it's delicious, it's got great tenderness, and it's really good for you. This nutritional element of making healthy animals for healthy eating is a big component about why their beef is so delicious. I feel so lucky to be a chef in Kentucky because the best way to express care for someone is to make them something to eat, and I get to do that every single day.
Lyon's Farm beef, available at Critchfield Meats and lyonsfarm.com.
Here's a way to give 2 holiday gifts for the price of 1. Serve food that's prepared with ingredients made or grown in Kentucky. We call it Kentucky Proud, and that's your assurance of quality. When you buy Kentucky Proud, you also brighten the holidays for a Kentucky farm family. Find gift and recipe ideas at KentuckyProud.com. Kentucky Proud is funded in part by the Kentucky Agricultural Development Fund and is a program of the Kentucky Department of Agriculture. James R. Comer, Commissioner.
Advertise your product or service on shows like this one. Contact Media 7 Broadcasting today. Call 859-317-4565 or email sales@m7bg.com. Reach potential new customers in the Louisville, Lexington, and other central Kentucky areas. Get your new ad produced for free by Media 7's audio and video professionals. Call 859-317-4565 today and let Media 7 create a marketing plan for you.
A European experience without leaving Lexington at Azure Restaurant and Patio. For lunch or dinner, enjoy excellent service and truly unique cuisine that will delight your senses. Unwind with award-winning cocktails or conduct business over a memorable meal. Every occasion is special at Azure Restaurant and Patio, located off Harrisburg Road in the Beaumont Center.
Hi. Welcome back to Food News and Chews. Hey, Jeremy.
Hey, Cowboy.
Hey, and you thought Trent couldn't be here. Well, here I am, Wyatt Earp, channeling him.
So here's our Food News and Chews segment.
Hey, yeah.
We got the Wyatt Earp meal, right?
You said it was a manly meal.
Yes,
Hey.
and since we were at the Alltech Symposium, I thought I'd use a little bit of Alltech Lyon's Farm beef.
Pretty.
And this is great. This is a New York strip.
You can't eat with these things. How do these things work?
So we got a nice tall New York strip, and I want to do like a manly meal, right? So I figure we take these and stuff it full of pimento cheese and wrap it in country ham. That's a nice
Now
manly
you're
plate, right?
talking.
So
Now
this is
you're
easy to
talking.
do at home, guys. What you want to do is use a knife kind of like this, long, sharp on the edge, and go in one section right in the middle of the New York strip. And notice how I don't make the hole very big, but I kind of wedge all the way inside both sides of the steak. So it kind of creates this open little pocket right there, right?
Okay.
Very easy. Now I've got pimento cheese. We put some beer in there, just like a beer pimento cheese. Why not? It's manly.
Yeah, you know, and I could take this thing and go. That'd be manly, wouldn't it?
No.
Chugging.
So here you go. We're going to take that. I put it in a pastry bag. Makes it easier. If you guys have a spoon, that works fine too. So you want to stuff your New York strips full of cheese.
Now, these things can be obtained easily.
Yeah, you can get them at the grocery store. Bake shops usually have them too. They'll let you borrow if you're really nice and buy a lot of cookies from them.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I just kind of bake from them. See how it's just kind of starting to fill up the entire New York strip full of cheese?
Man, that looks good.
Awesome stuff, right?
Excellent.
So,
what
got
great
some
tastes.
Country ham. Now we cure ours here, but otherwise you want to find just a cured country ham, not smoked, and have it sliced
Not
very
smoked. Very important.
Have it sliced very thin. So
Why
it's
not
kind of raw.
smoked? Why not smoked?
Because you don't want it to be cooked because it's not as flexible. This is like a raw cured ham. If you see, this is like nice and malleable.
Yeah.
And plus, we're going to do the cooking on the stove.
Okay.
So look at this. We're just going to wrap this guy up like a little blanket, right?
You're just coming up with everything manly.
That's right. This is very manly.
Where's the bourbon?
Right. Always want to
this
do a
is
little bit of
nice.
salt and pepper. You know, even though that ham's salty, not too much, but I like a lot of pepper.
Pepper is a magic ingredient, isn't it?
It makes you sneeze.
Yeah.
Clears your sinuses.
But you know, somebody
makes
said
it
that
spicy.
was the key to good gravy.
Pepper.
Good gravy.
Yeah.
Pepper
I agree
is.
with that. That's a
Yeah.
good. That's fun.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's all you got to do. Wrap it up like that. Get a party of 8 of them ready if you want. You know, 1 or 2 at home. But you want to go to the skillet with this, and high heat is a necessary thing you have to do.
Yeah.
Very
and then
hot
what do you do?
skillet. If you notice, this has been on the skillet on the stove for a
Hey,
long
partner,
time.
you want me to fire that engine up with my?
That's pretty good. So a little
All
bit
right,
of
let me
oil
get
in
out
there.
of the way. Okay, so that we can see this.
So if you notice, that skillet is nice and smoking, right?
I know, smoking.
We brought our steak over. It's
Real
nicely
manly.
wrapped. So at that point, we have minimal oil, not enough to drown the skillet,
Oh,
just to
that's
coat the plate.
interesting to know, yeah. Because I usually drown stuff.
Right. You just want to go in there and sear it. Maybe just a touch more to get things moving.
Yeah.
And then we're just going to pan sear
Oh, that looks delicious.
both of these. I like to cook them in the skillet fully, so they're fully done. Just because I like that nice hard crust on the outside. The country ham gets salty
And on
crispy.
the inside, that.
Well, that's going to get just melted to where when you cut into it, it's just oozing out.
How long do you cook that for, like, various things? Like, if you wanted that medium rare.
Well, what I'm going to do
which
is
would be
about
typical.
2 minutes on each side, and that's going to give me a rare. After that, about 2 more minutes per side to raise the temperatures. Now notice it's not going to take as long because we cut into it and we kind of separated the width. So there's like 2 sides that are actually cooking.
Yeah.
So if you notice, we're going to let this kind of sear up. Okay, so after you got a good baseline sear, right? Just going to take this guy
Trent
over.
would be so proud.
And when
hey, Trent.
When you flip a steak like this, make sure you flip it away from you. That way the oil splatters out.
Oh, man, I'm so glad.
So if you see that's nice and crispy on the outside.
Yeah, oh, that looks great.
Awesome, awesome.
That looks delicious. Boy, we feel like we're on the prairie.
That's right. All right, so we let the steak rest for a little while, and all the juices kind of settle down, and they don't try to run out of the meat when you cut it, right? So a nice little presentation. I think this steak would be really good with maybe
how nice.
some roasted tomatoes, a green vegetable, whatever. But the important part is for you to learn how to do this at home.
I have been taking
which is nice
notes.
and easy.
Yeah.
So if you want to look inside, you've got a nice piece of beef, and a little bit of rare to mid-rare there. And once that warms up some more, you got a nice cheese stuffing. So I like mine kind of mooing, how Trent Loos would like it, right?
Yeah, we just came in off the farm.
So if you have more time, leave it in the skillet longer, get a little bit more cooked and oozing.
I might prefer a little bit more, but oh, how pretty.
Yeah, we'll just kind of set that up, and there's a nice little Lyon's Farm steak wrapped in country ham and stuffed with beer cheese and pimento cheese, huh?
I love it. I love it. We've been in Jeremy's kitchen today learning about a manly meal, and we had such a great time with Trent Loos today. He is such a character, and we had a great time, and we're going to be back next week. We're going to be having the First Lady of Kentucky. We're going to be switching gears.
And I've got a great holiday favorite of hers from the governor's mansion, a peppermint balm. It's going to be delicious.
Yummy. All right, well, I'll have to have a costume change. We're going to wind this up, and we'll see you next week. Have a great week from Food, News, and Chews.